What's up, guys? Welcome back to Halfmanhalftech. My name is Ben. So today, well, actually a few days ago when it comes to watchOS 11, Apple released the developer beta 3 update, and it's the one that I'm currently on. Just to show you the update size, the way it came in for me on my device, you can see watchOS 11 beta 3 came in at exactly 544 megabytes. So I've updated my device to it and I've been using it for 2 days. And just to give you a quick summary of this update, even though it feels snappier, it still does have some issues. And the first issue that this update still pertains or has is the battery. And the battery seems to be awful, but I will just quickly show you the build number that this update comes with. You can see it here, 22R5309F. So that's the build number at this time. And now let's look at some of the changes before I tell you all about the battery drain. So the first change that I noticed after updating has to do with live activities and in widgets. So it seems to be snappier, and at the same time the UI and the way the animations pop up seem to have improved, and that is more significant in a few of the applications such as Shazam, podcast, music, and now playing, among a few others. So on my iPhone, for example, if I was to go and play any specific audio, you can see how the animation is quick to pop up and the way it's much improved. And so that is now playing, and at the same time the widget seems to pop right up to the top, unlike before where it might have stayed down and then you would have to roll your digital crown like this in order to show the widget. So that has been improved. Another app that seems to have received minor UI and glyph updates is Shazam, and I noticed this a few days ago when I was testing for a song that I saw on the radio, and it was also updated on iPhone as well. So when you ask Shazam, let's try, what song is this?
Naming that tune. Let me listen.
You can see how the animation pops up, and if you click on it right there, you can see how it then transitions to the full screen Shazam and it starts listening. And if you move the digital crown up like this, you can see it doesn't really seem to affect anything, even though we had like 2 dots, and when you scroll up it sort of pings twice like that. So that slightly change is here, and at the same time this also carries over if you play like a specific podcast in the podcast application. You can see if you give it a few seconds, the animation too has been improved. So that's something that's good and it's welcome to see. At the same time, one of the things that I saw when it comes to this update that has been updated, that's not the one that I was actually looking for, is some new animation when it comes to Snoopy. So Snoopy looks at the current events taking place in your area, such as the weather and what may be affecting you. And what I saw is that since we are in the summer, Snoopy showed an animation that I had not seen before, where he's at the beach and dives in water, but I couldn't get my phone out in time to be able to record this. But then if you want to see more Snoopy animation, then definitely keep an eye on this watch face. When it comes to health and fitness, one of the updates that has been updated here with this watchOS 11 is fitness on the Apple TV. They've added more workouts, and it seems like even though the connection time and pairing time from the Apple TV when you select a workout to the Apple Watch is faster, there's still an issue with the connection where you have to wait almost about a minute before it transitions into the Apple TV app on your Apple Watch. And so that's an issue at this point in time, and hopefully Apple addresses that. And speaking of the Apple TV, they actually updated their Apple Remote app on the Apple Watch here on watchOS 11. So you can see how the icon looks. This depicts the latest Apple TV remote that has USB-C, and you can see it's the one that has the big volume button as well as Siri on the site to be able to access, and it works really well with the Apple TV 4K 3rd gen that I use. Swipe gestures work, and I have had no problems with it, even though it's on the beta. And at the same time, since tvOS 18, the latest update, now supports Insight, you can use your Apple Watch to swipe up and swipe down and be able to access the different insights that have been added. And if you want to multitask, you can double tap or press and hold back this button to be able to go to the different pages. So that's something that's good. This time around, it seems like there's very few watch faces. The only new watch face that they updated is this photos watch face that basically uses machine learning and scans through your photos that you give permission to, and is able to scan and put things such as pets, cityscapes, or portraits, and be able to add them front and center on your Apple Watch. And this is something that's good, and you can see like an example of a picture that I set. I was able to create an album of different pictures, and it was able to, create like a different set of watch faces. And here it places the time by itself. You can see I just used myself because, I don't want to show other people in videos, but yeah, you can see how it sort of places the time strategically using this sort of AI machine learning feature to be able to make the subject pop. So that's something that's good and welcome. But usually when new watches come out, like the new Apple Watch Ultra 3 or the highly anticipated Apple Watch X, then they usually release some watch faces to go along with that. And also when there's special events, then Apple also releases special watch faces to cater to those events, such as this one that you see right here. ¿Cómo está, Siri?
I'm fine, thanks.
So Siri seems to be more understanding when it comes to different languages. So now you have more phrases that you can talk and be able to interact that are different from your default set language when it comes to Siri. So that is an update that is welcome. And at the same time, more prompts are being done on device, meaning that your Apple Watch won't have to send Siri commands to the cloud and process them and then send them back, because if it's more on device, then more prompts will be able to be done faster and with no connection. You can see for me to be able to use Siri to the full capacity, I set mine to English United States. Even though I'm in Canada, some features are limited to like the United States, and I find by just setting my Siri to the US, I'm able to access new features and do more things with Siri. Now, speaking of Siri, it's kind of unfortunate, but I'll show it to you here because I was wondering, when Apple Intelligence comes out, is there anything that's going to be out to benefit the Apple Watch? But according to different sources online, for now, the Apple Intelligence service is only headed to the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Later, it will come to the Apple Vision Pro, but there are no plans to bring the full initiative to the Apple Watch. Now, it's interesting it says the full initiative to the Apple Watch because at this present time, the Apple Watch hasn't seen any new AI changes, unlike some other devices. Like for example, in iOS 18 on Apple CarPlay, we actually have a logo of the new Siri logo that has AI integration, but on the Apple Watch, nothing has been implemented. And then when it comes to the new Apple Intelligence, you can see some unfortunate news here that Apple Intelligence will arrive in the fall, but the new Siri version will not be available at this time. Other Siri features such as the new design and ChatGPT integration should be present upon the debut of Apple Intelligence this year, but then the new Siri version, if it's for the iPhone, if it's for the Mac, it seems to be delayed, and that is according to Mark Gurman with Bloomberg, who has a pretty good reputation at this. Something that this update fixes, for at least for me in my experience, is the Vitals app. I had an instance where I had my Vitals giving me blank readings, and at the same time some of my data wasn't being collected properly. But here you can see my Vitals, and I do have, the same typical overnight vital right here. You can see my average heart rate per minute, and you can see my respiratory rate within typical range. and the other different metrics right here. So it's good that it's pretty much typical. Something that was actually updated on like different other devices such as macOS are these icons that you see on the bottom here. So for example, on macOS, this has been updated to a dog. This one that shows like a burger has been updated to show just an apple. The one that shows a car behind the building has been removed and it's just a car. And this icon here that depicts different elements has been updated to just depict a heart. But when it comes to watchOS 11, we haven't seen that yet, but hopefully that will come to the Apple Watch and it will make it more uniform. Then of course, one of the favorite thing or one of the new updates that watchOS 11 introduces is the ability to quickly be able to select an action button function without having to go into your settings. And a pretty cool thing about this is that you have the ability to input a shortcut, and that way it makes your Apple Watch shortcut or action button functions unlimited. So you also still have the option to go into your settings, and if you go back to just your general settings page and go down a little bit, you see where it says action button, and here of course you can see my set current action and you can see the gesture, and here you can have the ability to allow quick switch, and if you turn it on and you press and hold, you can see it still turns it on. And if we go back, turn on quick switch, it doesn't seem to be disabling it. So this is a beta and it's expected, and you can still choose, for example, if I want to disable the flashlight, even though the flashlight is my set default. Let's see if it does anything. So flashlight, is it there? Okay, it's still there. And let's see like this. Okay, it still has the flashlight and it turns it on. So that's kind of interesting. So it doesn't seem to be fully functional yet. I like the flashlight because in the morning when I want to wake up, I don't want to wake other people up, and I use the flashlight to find my way around sneaky. So that's basically most of the changes that I hear within watchOS 11 beta 3. It's a pretty minor update, and of course I've been only using it for just a few days, 2 days to be specific. And one thing that I notice is the battery drain. It's actually pretty serious. So if you go into the battery section right here, it doesn't seem to be loading pretty quick here. I don't know why. Maybe I need to reboot it once again. But if you go to the battery health of my device, you can see it's dropped again. So it was on 93, it dropped by 1%. It's possible there could be a recalculation, but then at the same time you can see I had to recharge it again in order to make this video. So on a typical day, my Apple Watch Ultra 1 still, carries me throughout the whole day, but this watchOS 11 beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3, it still needs to be optimized better. Even though most other functions such as the widgets and live activities seem snappier, there's still some background issues that are probably using much of the battery that are not supposed to be there. So if you're thinking of updating, it's still not yet stable, but keep in mind that the public beta should be coming out pretty soon. So it usually takes a month to about a month and 2 weeks from the first developer beta until the first public beta comes out. So we are approaching that time pretty soon. So keep an eye out on that. And if you want to know when the public beta comes out, definitely do subscribe and I'll keep you updated. So stay safe and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.